Peace and greetings. It's your girl Nai here from the Metaphysical Mommy, and I am back for day 4 of Kwanzaa. Habanagari Ujamaa, which stands for Cooperative Economics. So this one kind of hit me like, economics, what are we talking about around here? Cooperative economics. So, I know that the tarot community, as a collective, we are definitely a niche market in the grand scheme of things. One of my goals for 2018, the beginning of 2018, was to be more mindful of how I spend my money. In across the board, just across the board. And I made some significant changes to where I'm spending my money, because it's so important to how our purchases drives the way that the economy goes. Supporting local stores is definitely something. Like, okay, so I lived in New York. A lot of the stores in New York are family-owned businesses, a lot of the restaurants and stuff like that. So, it was almost never like a question in my mind, but you go down to Times Square and it's all these like big businesses and stuff like that. So it's funny, I would go to Times Square and I didn't want to do anything or get anything, because I just kind of was like, nah, I'd rather get the pizza at the mom and pop spot in the Bronx. Like, I don't want Pizza Hut or whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't live in the city anymore, right? I don't want to say in the country, but I live in the suburbs, I guess. I'm a little dramatic, so I call it the country, because in my mind, if I can't walk to the nearest store, I'm in the country, right? So anyways, but there's a farmer's market not too far from here that I love. I'm so spoiled from their produce section. It's bananas. It's a it's a family owned company and all that kind of stuff. They really do have the best selection of produce. I can't even explain to you guys. And now if I walk into a Walmart and I look at the produce section, I see the difference in the quality of the fruit. It's crazy. I don't know. But I've been aware of this since I made this change. What else can I say about cooperative economics? Just supporting the smaller businesses, I think, is important. Oh, like, as a matter of fact, this Jamaican spot opened up down the street. It's the street that I drive by every day from my daytime job. Oh my God, I was so ecstatic. When I saw this Jamaican restaurant open up. I was like, is that a Jamaican restaurant? And my husband was like, that's a Jamaican restaurant. I was like, we need to stop there now. So we went in. I talked to the folks there. It's a family owned business, and the food is made to order. And man, I had me some peas and rice, and I had oh my God, Jamaican beef patty and some curry chicken. It was so good, and they had the roti and everything. Oh, it was amazing. But you gotta understand, I grew up in the city, so in the city, there's just like all kinds of food. There's all kinds of cultures living there. So I've tried so many different kind of food that when I moved out here, another reason why I call it the country is because it's hard to get different type of foods out here. Like I said, I asked somebody who's native from this area. I said, "Hey, do you know any, Caribbean restaurants or anything like that?" And they're like, "No." Just like that. Like easy. No. I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, I always get my feeling when I go on vacation and go to NOLA." And I was like, "Girl, we got to change this. This is too much." So I learned how to make. I cook at home, so when I'm in the mood for something, I'll tend to cook, which is actually better economically, because I'm saving money, and I get to hook it up how I want to. Anyways, I say all this to say, again, my whole wanting to learn about different cultures, food is very important, economical kind of thing. And why we make what we make and how it's made, and it's so good. That's a very Torian thing for me to say, talking about food, but it is what it is. But yeah, buying from basically, not like how Queen said, not from the big box stores, but from the small box stores. I would like to say though, one of the things that I find interesting is that with some of the, now we talk about spiritual services, is that there seems to be a gap in services being either, now we're talking about services, not products, right? Services being seemingly too high for some folks, and too low in other places. There's like no middle ground that I've noticed that's anywhere. I want, like, my services, I want them to be affordable, but I still want to be able to eat. Like, for me, that makes sense. So I try to price things accordingly without, knowing how much effort and energy goes into it. So I get it. But I feel like it's also something that you need to kind of find a way of showcasing so that people know that it's worth it. That's why I do my weekly readings, just to kind of give folks a little bit of a taste of what I can offer. Products. We're talking about cards specifically. I'm down to support the independent artist. But I have slowed down. I have noticed, aside me getting gifted a whole bunch of decks, which I don't keep to mean reiterating, but I haven't got through them all, so I don't know what to say about each of them. However, quality is important. The thought process is important. And I don't want more of the same. I plan on doing a different video about deck diversity. I have some things written down that I'd like to discuss and talk about. But I do want to see diversity. I do want to see that your basics in tarot. It's great if you're a great artist, but do you know tarot? Because if I go through a deck and there's certain symbolism missing, I'm like, what's up? Where's the tarot in it, I try not to be too judgmental because I know tastes change over time, but there are certain things that are still standard to me that I need to see, and if it's not there, it kind of turns me off, and I'm like, okay, nope, next. So I think the quality of the work is super important. Like, I want to know a little bit of research went into it, that your heart went into it, like what's going on. Explain to me why is it here. Don't just throw some art pieces together and tell me here it is. That's not gonna work for me personally. It's not gonna work for me that way, So I'm trying not to be so rigid in how I'm saying it, but I think it's important. I think the diversity is important. I think basic tarot knowledge is important. And I'm putting it out there because if you're thinking about creating a deck, it's important that you know what you're basing it on, and how do you want to express that information through your artwork. Not just, here's my artwork, let's set it up, 22, 56, put it together, sell it. That's not helpful, you know. At least in my opinion, it's not helpful. So, but yeah, that makes me not want to spend my money on it. That makes it not even get onto my wish list. I've realized there's a particularness that's going on, and my wish list has went from ginormous at the end of 2017 to about maybe, I think I have like 15 decks. Some of them I can't even get my hands on because they're either out of print or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just, that's how it is for me. But I still want to support. But by telling you what it is that I would be looking for, I think that maybe could help you if you see this, you know. And like I said, I'll do a different video on diversity because I'll be here blabbering for an hour and a half. All right, let's go ahead and get to the reading, shall we? So, cooperative economics, Ujamaa. Again, I'm using the Moonchild Tarot. Oh, Queen said, I did see your video and your shoebox game is on point. I was, you had me laughing with that because, okay, let me talk about this real quick. All right, I stopped shuffling. I think it's good, but before I pull cards, your shoebox game is on point. So the reason why I say this now, I was having this conversation with somebody a couple of days ago. When I was growing up, we dealt with cash only. So to save money, I put money in the bank. But now money is in the bank. They're almost forcing a lot of hands to go digital. You know what I mean? And so you never actually see the cash. I also have a tendency to save money in the same way you do. It's not necessarily in a shoebox, but so now it's reversed, right? So when I was younger, I got paid in cash. I'll go to the bank to save money. Now, right, I go to the bank to withdraw money and save it. Because if I see it in my bank account or I think I have it in my bank, I'm going to spend it because I'm going to get food. I'm going to get gas. I'm going to get, groceries, pay bills, all that kind of stuff. And then before I know it, I'm like, okay, all the bills are paid. How much do I have for myself that I could spend on whatever it is I'm going to spend my money on? So by removing the excess money that I would have to spend on, and I don't primarily deal in cash, it's helpful for me to save money. So I don't think that your process is juvenile, okay? Actually, I think it's a safe bet. I'm kind of on that same boat with you because I was like, I'm not disciplined and not swiping my card and going, I have it. I'm also one of those people, if my family members are in trouble, if they're tight or something and they need something, I'll be like, all right, I'll PayPal you X amount. But if I don't have it, I'm going to tell them I don't have it. So I always, I can't help it. I'm looking at the digital itinerary of what's going on with my finances to determine what I can spend and what I can't. So if I remove it and have it in cash, I'm not going to think to spend it because I don't really carry cash like I used to. You see what I'm saying? So, okay, sorry for rambling, but I think your shoebox game is on point. Okay. All right. Oh no, you know what? Well, I shuffled it for whatever reason. Okay. Okay, my current state of financial sufficiency. This is going to be a hard reading for me to get through, y'all. Just because talking about money is kind of, Okay, my current state of financial sufficiency. Not bad. I'm a hustler, man. I've been a hustler as long as I can remember. Oh yeah, I used to go to the store, buy candy, sell candy to the neighborhood kids. I was a hustler. Always have been. But I feel like the Ace of Wands is saying, my current state of financial self-sufficiency is thumbs up. It's pretty good. My current belief about my own economic power. 9 of Cups. My Juju card. My current belief about my own economic power. I believe in the ripple effect. I believe that where I spend my money makes a difference. I know that Amazon, I use Amazon. I can't say I don't use it, but I've tried to be more mindful of why or when I'm purchasing from Amazon. If it's something I can go to, the pharmacy for, or something I can go to a local store to go get, I'm gonna get it, because every time we make a purchase from Amazon, we're adding to the carbon footprint. And if we're worried about, global warming and all that stuff, the carbon footprint is important, right? So, I try to be mindful of that, because Amazon's a big, it's a big company and whatever, but we have millions of people using their services all the time. It is what it is, but I know that I might be just one person, but not buying certain things, I know that it makes a difference in some small kind of way. I know that what we invest in is what we get back. And that's facts. That's facts. If you eat junk food, you're going to feel like junk. And I'm sorry to say that, but I have gone through the steps, and I know this for a fact. I've seen it. But if you get fresh foods and you eat it, you feel fresh, and you get the vitamins that your body's looking for and all that kind of stuff. I switched to soy milk years ago. It's been it's been a long time. I don't even know. But I know that my money is going into more farming than it is towards the production of milk. Something I want to talk about with that makes me crazy is first of all, even when I was a kid, milk didn't sit well in my stomach. I'm just going to say it like that. So when I found out about soy milk, or found out about, the plant-based milks or whatever, I was all for it. And I could have my cereal or my oatmeal or whatever it is I was going to have with this milk and it not bother my stomach. So that was definitely one way. But as I thought about it too, I said, wait a minute. Common sense tells you a woman gets pregnant, she has a kid, she produces milk to feed her child. What are we doing to this animal? Keeping them pregnant so they could keep lactating, so that they can feed humans? Grown ass humans? Not baby humans necessarily, right? Grown humans? That just didn't make sense to me. I said, that doesn't make sense to me. That's not right. And once that thought came in my head, you can't tell me nothing else. If you like it, you like it, but my money is not going into that machine because I don't agree with it. So if I don't agree with it, I need to put my money where my mouth is and do that. And that's what that saying is all about. And I think we could make a difference collectively, economically, by making these small changes, by being mindful about how we spend our money. So 9 of Cups, right? Hot-headed for the win. fighting for the cause, man. Okay. Number 3, my current attitude to communal economics. What? My current attitude to communal economics. Page of Swords. I can only control what I do, man. I think that's how I feel about it. I can control what I do. I can justify what I do, and I can share why I do it with others, but I can't force people's hands on how they spend their money at the end of the day. And that's really what it comes down to. What I, and that's it. Page of Swords. Like I said, I can share, I can offer information, and I can leave it up to you to do what you want to do with it. I can't tell you how to spend your money because you dang sure can't tell me how to spend mine. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. Number 4. How can I improve my financial self-sufficiency? 9 of Swords. Wait a minute. Did I? Hold on. What number am I at? Yeah, I'm at 4. 1. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm on the right 1, 2, 3. How can I improve my Okay, yeah, just making sure I was on the right one, you guys. How can I improve my financial self-sufficiency? 9 of Swords. Now, this deck doesn't really have traditional imagery, but you know what? Let me see. I can't help it. I tend to default to the Waite Smith a lot, no matter what deck I'm reading, because my mind just holds these images. Here we go. Okay. So, how can I improve my financial self-sufficiency? So instead of worrying about finances, instead of overthinking about finances, all I have to do is do the do and create a nest egg. Create a security blanket to fall on if times get rough and times shift, right? You worry about all the things that could go wrong, but creating a security blanket to fall back on is important. And I think that would be something that's going to help me improve my self-sufficiency, because not only is that nest egg important for preparing for the worst, but I could reinvest in myself for an opportunity or an idea or something that's going to be beneficial moving forward. You see what I'm saying? And now this one here has the moon, the figure holding the moon, a full moon. What's the 9 of Swords? This is a Gemini card. Yeah. I kind of would see this card from this deck as worries about barrenness. And even though the moon is a lot about intuition, there is also, a barrenness that comes with the moon as well. Worries about barrenness, but here we have the security blanket, the nest egg. Thank you, Smith Waite, for helping me out there visually. How can I improve my beliefs of my economic power? How can I improve my beliefs? The Hierophant. I feel like this is just saying how can I improve my beliefs of my economic power? I feel like this is really saying to pay attention to patterns, to trends, and know when to be able to know when to fall back or when to step away, and know that that's not it's not kind of where I want to put my focus at. I could probably, like I said, I mean, it goes back to the other one. I can only share what I know and take other people's advice as far as like maybe they know of a store that sells something specific and check it out, and support. If it's a family-owned type of business, a heart-centered type of business, and check it out and have faith that, it's going to give me what I need and know that my money is going into, it's helping to feed somebody. It's helping to keep a roof over somebody's head. That are trying to do their best, be their best selves, you understand? Live the dream and all that. But I feel like I'm pretty solid in my beliefs about my economic power, though. I feel like the Hierophant is really pushing that Taurus energy about that stability and that solidness and kind of being stubborn and already knowing and going, you can't tell me nothing. Number 6. The best way for me to financially contribute to my local community. The Magician. Kwanzaa got me pulling all of the major cards here. Best way for me to financially contribute to my local community. What are you trying to tell me, Mr. Magician? I think this could be okay, so something else that's out here a lot are like flea markets and I mean basically like those kind of vendor shops like that, flea markets, or show I don't want to say shows, but fairs and stuff like that where people set up tables and tents and stuff like that. I have not participated in many of those since I've been out here. Now that I think about it, I think I maybe went like maybe 2 or 3 times to a bigger flea market where people set up tables on the weekends. Probably checking them out too. I think that that's a way for me to contribute to the local community for sure. And if I'm not going and purchasing something, maybe I should set up a table and maybe offer my services at the flea market. That might be one good way to market myself. And also get kind of more familiar with the community and people would know who I am and what I do as well. So I think that's a good fair give and take there. Thank you, Mr. Magician. And then number 7, how can I best build cooperative networks and systems? Okay, before I look at this card, I just want to say that when I read the question, my mind went very IT. How can I best build cooperative networks and systems? Beep, boop, beep, beep, boop, beep. Okay, Knight of Cups. This is definitely talking about not the muggle job, man. Knight of Cups. Okay. How can I best build cooperative networks and systems? Give of myself freely. I feel like that's all I can do. Here is the cup. Drink from it if you wish. If you don't, I am not your flavor. Continue on. I will share the rest of my tribes throughout these videos, sprinkled throughout these videos, and maybe you might like the water that they have to offer. And with that, much love, many blessings. Ujamaa. Peace.